Don't you just love reminiscing old memories on television? But don't look at me like that. You all know you would. Alright, wait a minute. What is that? What the hell? What?
What in the absolute
Let's have some Bible. You know, it's not oftentimes I can be left speechless after watching a trailer. Even in 2025. One of the biggest things I've always said, Man of Steel is an underrated movie. And yes, Henry Cavill is my Superman. The guy had the part. He's a great guy. He's nerdy as hell. And then, yeah, obviously David Cornsweet came around after DC decided to fuck everything into oblivion. We didn't know what to do. Thanks, Jimmy. Once we found out that we got David Cornsweet, and even myself, I was confused a little bit on the direction of how he was going to go. James Gunn has done good work. I will give that man credit. Guardians of the Galaxy, I think he did a phenomenal job with, and I'm not going to take that away from the guy. If there's one thing that needs to be recognized and even understood, the state of superhero movies is just in a piss poor condition right now. DC following up a legacy of flops after flops after flops. This Superman movie has to be top tier. It needs to be excellent. We all understand what Henry Cavill was able to do, but when you have disasters or even successes like Deadpool and Wolverine, you're going to have to understand that you need a home run here. We know that we're getting a Superman movie, but the problem is, as time goes on and we're getting more of these trailers, this is not going to be a Superman movie. This is going to be a James Gunn Superman movie. He's like that little kid growing up that said you could never play with his toys, but he was the one secretly going behind everyone's back and stealing all the others so he could have everything that he wanted, regardless of what the expense it took on him. He's using DC Studios, it feels like, as his own little personal playground now. But as it stands, we did get a new actual trailer that actually had some fucking dialogue on it for once. And, well, it was just okay for me. James Gunn has made no mistakes about it that he is using his own personal dog as a representation of crypto. This is just one example. If you wanted to give us crypto, James Gunn, just give us crypto. You don't have to use parts of your life for every single thing that you do. But since we're here, let's go on with the actual news trailer, because that's what you're all fucking watching right now. I do like the Fortress of Solitude. It does look very good. Very Christopher Reeve's Return of Superman era. It does look very good. Yeah, and even crypto does bark, and it does open up.
No need to thank us, sir, as we will not appreciate. We have no consciousness. Meet 12. She's new.
He looked at me.
And that's going to be one of the biggest issues that a lot of people are going to face when it comes to James Gunn's Superman, is the fact that it's going to be filled with his usual campy humor. I don't want campy, cheesy humor in my Superman movie. I want truth, justice, and the American fucking way, James Gunn. That's what we want. Superhero fatigue is very much a real thing. The past few superhero movies that we have gotten have just not been good. Let's face it, they're not good at all. And a lot of them are complete shit. Even when we get to see Superman being rejuvenated by sunlight, it's something that we could get a lot of joy out of, because, you know, that's what works. But what doesn't work is piss poor movies. Do you honestly think that Captain America Brave New World did anything for the MCU? Or did it make it worse now that we know that it was a complete box office flop, losing hundreds of millions of dollars? Let's not just pretend that we think superhero movies are in a great state right now. If you enjoyed this movie, have fun. Go nuts. I'm proud of you. But for the records, it was a bad movie, and it lost hundreds of millions of dollars. Look at Daredevil Born Again, following up from one of the best Netflix and superhero adaptations that were ever made. People are not watching Daredevil Born Again because they hate what the MCU has done. They hate what Disney's done. They just hate superhero movies now. And honestly, how can you blame them from everything that we have seen, from everything that has taken place with all of these movies? It just hasn't worked. The superhero fatigue is kicking in, and you, James Gunn, you little fudgesicle, cannot fuck this movie up. Look at Fantastic Four. This movie might actually do okay. But if Fantastic Four flops, and even everything else of what we are seeing, this is going to be a clear-cut sign that superhero fatigue is going to be kipping in, because now it's just going to get turned into shit movie fatigue. And that's all that we've gotten for, quite honestly, the past 5 years now. It has not changed, and unfortunately, it has not gotten any better. These are the things that James Gunn needs to keep into consideration when he goes into making Superman. Not only do you have a legacy of failed movies behind you, James, but you have to look at the legacy of what's to come. And your legacy and your career as a filmmaker, as a writer, as a producer, and all this other stuff is going up on flop after flop for everything from the MCU to everything that Disney has done to what the DCU has done. But don't get me wrong, let's face it, I'll take Henry Cavill back in a heartbeat if you screw this up. I think honestly James Gunn knows this, but let's face it, I'd love to see a Zack Snyder crypto version as well. You know what? Yes, give me this. I will take this all day, James Gunn. With a movie that could be filled with so much unknowns, a lot is riding on this movie that I have already stated before. And my prediction, honestly, is that this is just going to be an okay movie, which is not going to save the DC universe at this point. It needs to be a great movie. I think, honestly, David Corenswet is going to do a pretty good job as Superman. But if this movie fails, the person that everyone's going to blame is James Gunn. What does that mean for the legacy of what's going to be coming years down the road? And quite honestly, there might not be any more, so we might as well enjoy what we have right now. But until that day comes, I will always take the Man of fucking Steel. And, as always, until we meet again.